At this time, if everyone would please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. Fellow board members, you've had a chance to review our open session minutes from our June meeting. If there are any changes, we can make those now. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries. Everybody's had a chance to look at our closed session minutes from our June meeting. If there are changes, we'll make those in closed session. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand, motion carries. Do we have any additions or deletions to our agenda?
No, sir.
Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your hand. All right, motion carries. All right, matters of the public, we do have one public comment tonight. Pamlico County Board of Education welcomes the opportunity to hear from the public during its regularly scheduled meetings. The public comment period is open for members of the public, including parents and students, to voice compliments, concerns, or complaints about performance of school personnel, implementation of board policy, the quality of the education program, or school facilities. According to Policy 1326, presentations are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Obscene, vulgar, or profane statements, personal attacks, and insults, and statements reasonably perceived to be disruptive or imminently threatening to the orderly operation of the meeting shall not be permitted. And our attorney, Rachel, will be manning the clock. So we have Roger Stewart III. Trey, you can come here.
All right, I came to the school board today because I have an opportunity and asked if y'all have the 10 Commandments in your school warehouse. I will honor to buy it from you. The 10 Commandments, any Bible that y'all have, they got rid of in the 1960s back in the day. I want to buy it from y'all. I know there's been an eyesore from y'all since all those years ago, and if you have it in your warehouse, I have to buy it from you. And what I will do with those 10 Commandments is, if it has a Pamlico County training schools on it, I would like to pass it down to Pastor Douglas Pearsall, who was an alumni of the Pamlico County Middle School back in the day when I handed it over to him. And so, also, I want to ask to preserve the Gen X history that's between the primary school and the Anderson School. That used to be like old football exercise workout equipment with the iconic green sign. I asked if we can preserve that because it's Gen X history and all bygone era, and I want to preserve that because it's a nostalgia history and outdoor history museum of the Gen X community of Pamlico County. And I want to shout out to Dr. Jeremy Johnson for having me to speak. And the first time he's seen you in person, talking to you face to face. And I have to thank you. I want to rescue the 10 Commandments, and it's meaning a lot to me to have them if you have in your school warehouse, so you get them to be used instead of being in the warehouse. You have more space in your warehouse, more funds for the school, for new school construction. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Trey. All right, moving on to our superintendent's report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Prescott. Much of the superintendent report tonight is, the first 2 items on here deal with our new schools. I'm not going to steal a lot of Mr. Rice's thunder as he brings our new school report here directly, but you would need to be blind to not notice this gigantic building that's emerging over Anderson Drive back here. So it's really coming along. Just a reminder, we have our topping out ceremony on Thursday, and I know Mr. Rice will be talking about that a bit too, as far as what that agenda is going to look like, but hope all of you can attend that. The high school abatement project, Mr. Rice, I'm sure will also provide a detailed report on that, but I'm pleased that it's basically over. It has left some unsightliness in its wake, just a little, right, Ms. Lynchy? Just a little. We're actually going to work tomorrow. We've got a paint crew, just an all-star paint crew gathered together, and we're going to paint the floors in the hall and the classroom and get that looking more presentable for the beginning of school. The strategic planning process is continuing, and I encourage you all, we shared some guiding questions with you several months ago. If you have those and have not shared those with me, I'd appreciate you to share them. If we want to discuss it more, we can, but we're going to continue working on that and hopefully bring a working draft to the board real soon on that. I know there has been a lot of discussion or question about the federal funding freeze that's all been all in the news. I'm hoping everybody has seen. They have released the funds, and so that is a relief. We were impacted by that. I think I sent you all an email. Our Title II and IV funds were frozen, which accounts for around $97,000. So it was a big deal, but it was one that we were looking at ways to mitigate. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that right now, but that's certainly, those were some of those funds that were frozen. Along with the 21st Century Grant. You probably didn't realize that that's part of the title grants too, and that's actually what funds the HeartWorks after-school program. So they released those funds first, and now they've released funds for our schools, and so we're thankful and pleased with that. As far as summer operations and planning go, summer's moving right along. The construction project obviously is going, but our principals are busy working in the schools preparing for this next year. Got several hires to talk about tonight, and we'll bring to you in closed session. And we're just looking forward to a great start. I will say, you can go ahead and put on your calendar if you would like to attend on August 18th. That's the first required work day. At 1:30, we're going to have a welcome back celebration, assembly, convocation, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be meeting at the high school auditorium at 1:30 on that day. We'll introduce new staff members. We will announce our District Teacher of the Year. And then we will also just share a few words with the staff, welcoming them back for what we want to be our best year yet. And so with that is pretty much all I have to share. Mr. Rice, come forward, please, and give us our new school progress update. There's lots to share.
All right, good evening. Like Dr. Johnson said, there is a lot going on. It's hard to miss. Last week they started putting these steel beams across the very, very top part of it. So it was kind of neat seeing one guy sitting up there by himself waiting for that beam to come down. And I guess he's welded in place or whatever. It was pretty cool. Here's our update. These are all the same. This is our progress report for tonight. Holocore that we talked about last week with the planking for the second floor, that's been completed. The topping slab, the cement that was poured on top of the holocore, that's also been completed. So all those cement pours, I think, have been completed now. The first asphalt layout's been completed. I don't know if you come down High School Drive or not, but you can see there's been some asphalt poured in. All structural CMU, cinder block, that completion is expected later this week. And the geo wells, last month I said they were 65% complete. Now they tell me we're close to 85% complete. They're doing overhead and in-wall rough ends, which includes the electrical, plumbing, those type of things, HVAC that's behind the walls that you don't see. That'll be ongoing for a little while. And like Dr. Johnson just stated, the library demo in the old school, the abatement process has been completed, air quality has been tested, and everything's good. Buildings, again, should be completed the 1st of May, demolition, and then school occupancy for next school year. Now, a few pictures. Got a stairwell built now to go up to the second floor. Here's some roofing beams and some steel that's roofing. There's one of the steel that they're swinging across for the rafters in the middle school gym. Here was a concrete pour on an early morning. They like to get out here early when they're pouring the concrete, I guess, to get it before it gets too hot. They were out here like 3:50 in the morning when that picture was taken. That's on the second floor. And here they are on the second floor, smoothing the concrete with these little, the way they go around in circles, remind me of the bumper boats they used to have down in the jungle there. This is the second floor. Again, remember the middle's open all the way to the ceiling. Here's your middle school gym entrance from the back. You can see there's a great big area that's open. That is so they can get their big equipment in and out and move blocks in and out. They have since got all that equipment out and they're about halfway up. So they're closing that off now. This is inside, downstairs. Some of the interior walls are being put in place. And here's the paving that I've talked about. This is behind the high school now. This is the science hall. The new building's here, and this is going down in front of it. This is actually what will be school bus entrance off of High School Drive when it's finished. Geo wells near the long jump over on the other side of the football field, they've been completed. They're getting ready to grade that out so we can get some grass on that. Hopefully get pretty much cleaned up before football gets here. Asbestos abatement in the old school, what Dr. Johnson was talking about, you can see here, this is what concrete looked like in 1953 or so, I guess. So it's that's some old concrete. Again, it's not very pretty, so we're going to go in and paint tomorrow. Dr. Johnson, myself, Ms. Lanchey, Ms. Barnett, I don't know, a few other people that we've got. I've got about 10 people said they're willing to paint. We got about 20 classrooms and a couple of hallways, so hopefully we can knock it out in a day. There were some places that were uneven. After they pulled up the tile, you can see the places here. We had to get them to go back in and put some concrete on those to make the transition so people wouldn't trip and have a hazard there. We were kind of unsure how that happened because when the tile was down before, it didn't look like it was uneven. Well, come to find out, I asked the question, and whoever put the tile down at that had done it in layers to stack it up to make it level. Like they started one, and then they put two until it gradually got up to where it made it halfway look like it was even. I think that's all I've got for this month.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that is it for my superintendent report. Mr. Prescott, does any board member want to speak? Then certainly.
Any board
Welcome.
members? And a quiet month.
Do have one question for Mr. Rice. For the, I apologize, for the on-site visit that we're going to have,
Yes.
because it is an open construction area, is there a specific attire that we're supposed to wear?
Well, they're going to call. They're not going to be working on Thursday. I'm glad you mentioned that because I meant to mention that too, and I forgot. But they have not told me a specific attire. I think everything's okay. You might have to walk through some gravel or something, but right now we're going to park at the high school parking lot by the cafeteria, and now that they've got that asphalt paved in there, we should get pretty easy without having to do too much climbing over stuff. So.
And as far as dress, it's going to be
Hot.
It's going to be hot. Now, we're going to wear a polo shirt and khakis, that kind of thing. It's not one that we'll put a suit and tie on for this, so we'll just be comfortable because it's going to be hot. And we won't spend the whole time on the site either. You're going to get to see the site and look around, ask questions, and see the ceremony, but then the meal's going to be in the existing cafeteria over there, so.
We'll have a short program. I'm probably thinking probably like 15, 20 minutes. I think I'm doing a welcome. Mr. Riggs from the County Commissioners might say a few words. If Mr. Prescott will, we'd appreciate it. And the architect and the construction manager, and then Dr. Johnson's going to close out the program. So they all should be fairly quick speeches because it's going to be warm. It's not too bad when you go inside the downstairs part with the shade up and everything. So it's not unbearable, but it is warm.
So Dr. Johnson was thinking dress attire. I was thinking steel-toe boots, hard hat, safety glasses.
I don't think we'll have to do that either, but
Construction-
I asked Henry that
construction zone.
today. I said, are we gonna have to wear hard hats? But they're suspending all the activities, so I think we'll be okay.
Thank you.
Any board members have anything to say? All right, we're going to move on. Everybody's had a chance to look at the items in our consent agenda. If we need to discuss any or have questions on any one particular, then we need to pull them all out and vote individually. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries. All right, moving right on to instruction.
Good evening, everybody. We didn't have a good news section tonight because our kiddos aren't in school, but I definitely feel like both of these items under instruction tonight could fall in the good news category. Since we last met, Ms. Lanchi and I had the opportunity to participate in our final accreditation engagement review, and each of you in your packet tonight have a copy of that final review report. We are very proud to announce that Pamlico County High School earned an Index of Education Quality score of 334, which is well above the network average of 296. So we knew good things were happening there, but now we have it in writing.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Yes.
And just a reminder, accreditation is a very rigorous process. I can't thank Ms. Lanchi and Mr. Spieth and their staff and leadership team enough. This was a lot of work, a lot of surveys and questionnaires and reports and things to fill out. So, but not only that, just meetings to kind of go over and just capture everything that's going on, to be able to present it to people who don't have the opportunity to walk in and out of our schools. And the process has changed quite a bit. There used to be a team that would come and they would stay over the course of a couple days and they would meet with the teachers and go in the classrooms. And now all of this is pretty much done virtually. So you really have to do an excellent job, like I said, with your writing and your conversations when you do have your virtual meetings to really be able to paint a picture of what's happening at the school. Not everyone who goes through this accreditation process receives a accommodation of a noteworthy practice, but Pamlico County High School did receive one, and that is something that Cognia they keep that kind of in a repository to share with other schools so that they can use it almost as like a marker of excellence, like something that other schools could kind of use as a model and then kind of strive for. And for Pamlico County High School, their strength was the collaborative development of their school improvement plan, their mission and vision statements, and specifically their staff playbook. And the committee just made sure that they told us time and again that this process really created clarity and alignment and showed shared ownership among the staff. So again, congratulations to the high school for that.
Great job.
As a part of this review, we're also given opportunities for growth, and so we will be looking at those over the course of the next 3 years. It's a 5-year accreditation cycle, but at the end of year 3, they kind of come back and check in and say, hey, did you just put that report on the shelf, or have you been looking at it? Have you been using it as a part of your strategic planning process? And so there will be some things that we will be helping to support the high school and looking at so we can make sure we're ready for that process when it comes again. But in your board package, you have a copy of that. It goes through all 30 standards. You see where the high school ranked themselves. You see where we ranked against the network in each of the different categories. And so if at any point you have questions about that report, if you want to talk about it, go over it. I'll be happy to meet with you. I'm sure Ms. Lanchi and her team would too. But again, just thankful to the Pamlico County High School leadership team and their staff and administration for all of their work on this process.
That's
Well,
great.
thank you to her, because she was a huge help throughout the entire process.
And then just to kind of recap our summer learning experiences, we had two summer learning opportunities going on, one at Pamlico County Primary and one at Fred Anderson. Pamlico Primary had our summer reading camp. Again, that is legislated for our students in 2nd and 3rd grade that don't quite meet proficiency in reading at the end of the year. It's optional, so they don't have to go, but we did have 20 students who participated this summer. It was a full day of learning this year, so not just all about reading all day long, but we were also able to include music with Miss Wilson, and then this year, Miss Prescott worked with us, and so the students were able to have some experiences in the media center as well. Ms. Christy Caroon, our early literacy specialist, oversaw the program, and she has told me, if she's told me once, she's told me 1,000 times that this was the best summer reading camp we've ever had. And for her to say that, she's been doing this a really long time and has been a part of a lot of summer reading camps. So it's just nice. As I was filling out our JLOC report today, I made sure that I captured that in there, that we felt like this was the best one. Our 2nd grade campers saw a lot of growth over camp, and 4 of the 7 3rd graders who retook their reading test reached proficiency, and that is thanks to 4 amazing teachers. Miss Hardison, Miss Rice, Miss Stilley, and Miss Nelson were our teachers that worked with our students. And so those of you who know those individuals know we had some of the best that were working with our campers this year. And Kerrigan Lemaster was our teacher assistant, and so she pulled groups too and was able to work with students. And that was really nice because she was also familiar with the students from the school year. We ended camp with a Kona Ice treat, and we're just really extremely proud of how few students actually qualified to attend reading camp at the primary this year. Anything you want to add about camp, Ms. Alexander?
Great.
Okay. And then at Fred Anderson, we held our 2nd annual Camp Learn a Lot, and again, this was sponsored in collaboration with the NAACP Education Committee. Ms. Shanae Moore served as the director, and she did an amazing job planning camp this year. Just kind of turned everything over to her. She did the schedules, she grouped the kids. It was fabulous. We doubled our invitations from last year. Last year we invited 12 campers. This year we invited 24, and so we felt like that was a big positive. They had a full day of reading and math instruction, and that was built around their performance on their end of the year assessments. And Ms. Gadet, Ms. Forbes, and Ms. Valeria Davis were our teachers for camp, along with Ms. Wilson, who provided music. And then we had Mr. Reed from Pamlico Community College come and do STEM activities with the students, and then they also participated in social emotional learning. Volunteers signed up and came out to read with our campers every morning, and so that was really nice. And they didn't just read. Ms. Moore gave them homework. They had comprehension questions that they were supposed to ask the students, and certain places marked in the book where they were supposed to stop and kind of talk about what they were reading. So that was really neat to see. Ms. Carnell Barrow came out quite a few times, and I think she got more interested in the book than the students did by the time camp was over, but really enjoyed having those volunteers. And they also joined our PCPS campers for Kona Ice at the end, and we are already looking forward to another Camp Learn a Lot next summer. And I don't think either of them are in here tonight, but just a really big thank you to Miss Laura in Child Nutrition and to Lindsay in Transportation, because we were able to provide breakfast and lunch for both campsites this year and coordinate transportation so those students could get there, get home, and we worked with HeartWorks so they could continue to participate in that after camp too. So there was a lot of planning that went on for camp this year, and I feel like both of them went off really well.
That's great.
Any questions?
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Okay, so remember at the June 23rd meeting, we talked about, I asked the board to approve a year-end budget amendment resolution that would allow me to bring final amendments to the board after the close of the year so that we could ensure that we'd recorded all the revenues and expenses accurately for closeout. So I have for you tonight an amendment for the following. Fund 8 is amendment number 20. Fund 1, which is state funds, is amendment number 21, and Fund 2 is local funds, which is amendment number 22. All of these amendments are needed to close out the fiscal year and to record additional revenues received and to ensure that we have recorded all of our expenses properly to close out the fiscal year. There were small things like little bits of revenue that came in from the state, additional funds that came in for different charges in Fund 8, But this reconciles everything at year end so that we're ready for our audit. I will bring to you in August a final federal amendment. We didn't have everything that we needed completed in order to get it ready for the timeline for tonight's meeting, but I will have that one at the August meeting. And our auditors are already working, and the good news is, thanks to the additional fines and forfeitures money we received last year, we did not have to use any additional fund balance to close out our local current expense fund. I was very concerned because some of our expenses were higher than what we had anticipated, but we got about $80,000 more in fines and forfeitures than what we had anticipated. And thankfully, that saved us because we really only finished the year with about $30,000 above what was budgeted. That's pretty tight for your local budget. So that means that a lot of what we looked at and calculated and estimated, we were very close. So I'm grateful for that additional revenue that we brought in. Can I answer any questions about any of these amendments for you? We do have a tight budget this year and a tight capital budget, so we're going to do our best to manage everything this year as well.
Any questions on Amendment 20, 21, or 22? Rachel, can I do one blanket motion for all three?
You can, unless somebody wants to amend it because they don't agree with one of them.
Okay. Well, I'll do them individually then. So I need a motion to approve Amendment 20.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Amendment 21, need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. And Amendment 22.
Motion. Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, governance. Dr. Patrick.
Good evening, board members. As the Director of Federal Programs, I have to complete some sets of assurances, and one of those documents requires that I come before you and basically seek your permission to complete the application. So that is my request tonight, that the board minutes reflect that the board votes to allow me to complete our consolidated federal programs application.
Any questions on that? I think it's just a formality. Yep. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, who's going to do the...
Mr. Rice, you're going to talk about the... Yeah.
So as many of you may recall, back when we started the design process for the new school, there was some that wanted to keep the old cafeteria at the high school, and some didn't want to keep it. Particularly the architects didn't want it to stay there. I think a lot of you guys wanted to keep it. I know the commissioners wanted to keep it. In the end, we've decided to keep it, and we've kind of had to because we needed the space. And what we're going to do is repurpose that cafeteria. We've talked about this before, but it'll contain ROTC classrooms, ROTC storage, and ROTC lab. Basically, the lab would be their shooting range. The other part of it would be culinary arts for middle school and high school. So most recently, we have sent out RFQ, request for qualifications, for firms that are interested in doing this project. We got two that were submitted, and they're in front of you. One of them was, I can't remember the other. Berry Group, and then the other one was Metcon and SFLNA, who is doing our project right now. Our recommendation is to go with the Metcon and SFLNA for a couple of reasons. One, they know what goes on here. They've done a pretty good job so far. We've not had any complaints really, other than some traffic on some roads. but they've been really easy to work with. Whenever we need something, they jump right on it. So that's our recommendation to move forward is for you to choose Metcon and SFLNA to do the repurposing of the new cafeteria. And if you so choose that tonight, we'd also like you to waive the first reading because we need to have these people finished with this building as well by the time school starts next year. And there needs to be a little bit of design process before they can actually do any construction. Speaking of, the construction wouldn't start until in May when school was out or almost out because we have to use the cafeteria until school's out.
Any questions?
Have you gotten a price from both of these contractors? Like, is it,
We told them we needed to do it for around $700,000. We can use our repair and renovation fund. That's, when
Okay.
we submit that. So that's the max. They can't go over that. And so
so that's where the money's coming from
that's where the
as
money's
well?
coming from is
Okay.
that lottery fund for repair and renovations. I don't think there's probably any more appropriate use, because that is a
Right.
massive renovation. But Mr. Rice, Mr. Carroll, and I, we had the opportunity, long as I've worked here, I remember when the cafeteria was built, but to walk in there, you kind of walk behind the back into the kitchen. It's a big space, and it's really nice, and it's going to be a first-class culinary arts lab. And so that's where there's going to be some readjusting in there, and then they're going to have to build basically a couple of walls dividing the dining room, which is a huge space too when you get in there when it's empty.
Right.
And that's where one side would be that ROTC lab. The other side would be basically divided into two to where we have a middle school culinary arts classroom/lab, and then we have a high school culinary arts classroom adjacent to the cafeteria, or to the kitchen, so they can walk right in there. So it's really going to be nice. And then in that building, if you've been familiar with it, there are two classrooms right now existing, and so ROTC is going to be using those classrooms. So essentially, it'll be a space for ROTC culinary arts. It's a career center, so to speak. It won't house all of our CTE, obviously, but it's going to be a nice space. And so we're going to use the repair and renovation funds. That's the plan.
So how far down has the discussions gone? Because I know when we first started talking about keeping that building, there was an amount of about $1 million was floating around about it would take that much to do what we need to do.
We shared the price with them, and they came back with a proposal and said they could do it. And so that's where I want to say there's around $900 and some thousand right now in that fund. We don't want to spend all of it. And so that would be, things happen, things break, and we want to be able, if HVAC system tears up, we need to be able to access the funds for that. So having a $200,000 cushion makes me feel a little more comfortable. So that's, talking to the architects and putting it out there for this price. They didn't really flinch. They put this out there. So I feel good about that.
And is this going to be a standalone building, or will it be connected?
Right now, it's standalone.
It'll be standalone. They're going to build a little vestibule or porch, whatever you want to call it, kind of where it connects to the existing high school. It'll be cut off right there, and then they'll dress that and fix that to where there'll be an entrance there. Can use the entrance on the other side, but it'll just be right across the parking lot from the new school.
So when do they plan to do this work?
Most of it will be in the summer, next summer. As far as the construction part of it, we hope to be able to allow them some space probably starting in May, towards the end of the school year.
So,
They'll be designing and stuff between now and then.
so tonight you need us to just say which one of these
Correct.
groups.
Was this other group, was it told how much money we had to spend on it, or did they just present a price that
No,
they
they
came
were
up with?
told everything. Everybody was told what we had, right?
Yeah, this, I can get the RFQ for it, I don't have it with me right here, But it was sent out, this was requesting qualifications, who's qualified to do it, if they're interested in it.
So they didn't actually price it.
I don't remember without looking at it off the top of my head.
So is this
I don't
going
think
to take away from their work that, if Metcon does this, is this going to take away from their work that they're trying to do on the school itself?
No, they want the job. They feel like it'd be better if they're here instead of having other people stepping on their toes and in the way and
I
everything.
understand that, yeah.
And they'll be able to have it finished by the first day of school in the new building, or they're gonna,
That's what they tell us.
That's the plan.
Just like this one. Just like this one.
Yeah.
So,
And we discussed this at our last oversight committee meeting with them, and they, you know, and Brandon was on the phone with that as well, so, I mean, they really want to do it because it'll be their people, and they said, no, it's not going to take
I
away
agree. Yes, I agree with that.
from what they're doing, so.
So they'll go through the same process with this as they did with the school of hiring or
Be very similar, yes.
bidding it out and
Yes,
all
and
of
there'll be a
that?
GMP at the end of it and everything.
Okay. Well, I definitely think it's better to go with the group that's already here. Do we need to make a motion to approve that?
So you said first reading, we don't have,
But he wants
we don't
to
have first
waive
reading
it,
on
right?
contracts.
I took a look, it's not a two-reading situation, so you can just approve. his
Yeah, I was like,
recommendation.
first reading on that's a new one
I
on
know,
me.
I looked at the same thing.
Okay,
Well, we really haven't had time to read this, you know, we just got it, but I totally agree that would be better off to go with this group, so.
it just makes me nervous that we've told them how much we're gonna spend, because I wanna make sure we get what we think we're gonna get, you know, but, you know, I don't know, that makes me very nervous. You know, like, they're like, okay, we'll do it for you for this amount of money, but when we get done with the project, spending the amount of money we gave, you know, is it gonna look like what our vision is? So anyway, that just makes me nervous.
Curious, like how far into the design process, specs, materials, do we have any rough?
I think there's a rough design in that book, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's as far as it's going.
But no idea as far as materials or subcontractors or anything? Okay.
The original project had a limit on it as well. And there's a percentage that the architect gets and the construction manager gets. And then the rest of it's there for the other people to bid on. So they're still going to be bidding on the best prices that they can get.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. We had 67 million, no more, no less. We couldn't go a penny more than that with the main thing. And so they knew that when they were bidding. And so it could not be, you know, obviously you're like, well, they're gonna stretch out. If you got 62, we're gonna spend 62, but that's the, I guess the nature of it. But that's what, you know, they knew how much we had to spend before too.
Okay.
But
I was
understand
just thinking
your
that in the
question.
process already, even with the main building, that there had been costs that have come up that we did not anticipate, and so then it seems like we're having to forego other things to deal with the costs that are coming up. And so anyway,
There's not been a
No,
lot of that.
But
Stuff that was they already felt like they would probably have those issues.
well, there was a couple things a couple months ago that were kind of back to back to back, because remember, they were writing us letters and you were writing letters back or something about it. I should probably know more, but
About the internet wire.
yeah, and just some unaccounted for things, but
Henry, is this project gonna be just like our current project? I mean, we're gonna have that guaranteed maximum price, and if it runs over, they're responsible for finishing it.
This is not only a construction manager at risk, this is a
Okay.
design. I don't know exactly the difference. There is a little bit difference, but not much. Brandon recommended this as well, and that was the right thing to do with a smaller scale.
And the thing that makes me comfortable, Miyuki will be overseeing this.
Well, and we've already got collateral with them with this
Yeah.
other building, so I agree with that.
Yeah. Any other questions? Everybody okay? I guess I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right.
Good evening again, board members. Tonight, excuse me, presenting to you for first read policies 8,000, 8,100, and 8110. These are all finance policies, so if we have questions, we have to wait for Ms. Altman to come back in the room. However, she did say, as we were bringing these policies before you tonight, that these are things that we already have in place. These are processes that we are already doing, so there are no drastic changes included in these three policies. So just like to have them before you tonight for first read, and we will approve them hopefully at our next board meeting.
So if everyone probably had a chance to read these, review these, if you have any questions, please reach out to Dr. Patrick or those that are on the committee, and we'll get answers to those. So again, this is first reading, so we'll bring these back at our August meeting. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gibbs.
I move that the Pamlico County Board of Education enter into closed session to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A1 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 1232G and GS 115C-402. Confidential personnel matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1, 5, and 6 and 115C-319. And to consult with the Board of Education attorney in order to preserve their attorney-client privilege as provided in General Statute 143-318.11A3.
Already have a motion, need a second.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, we'll be going in closed session, 6:41. You can turn this back on. All right, we're back in open session. Couple things we need to do. I need a motion to approve our personnel report for action and information.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Need a motion to approve our out-of-district students.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Meeting dates and stuff, the main thing to remember is this Thursday, our topping off ceremony. Those of you can make that, that would be great. And our next board meeting is August 25th,
Yep, it's the first day of school.
first day of school.
And I will say, just to put on your radar, we can talk about whether you all want to attend the North Carolina School Board Association Conference this year. That is in November, it's the week of November 11th, I believe it is. And I want to say this year, it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in Greensboro. It's actually, Veterans Day's Monday, I think, and or Tuesday, and then I think, right, well, maybe it's Tuesday. The conference actually starts on Wednesday. Traditionally it's been you go up on Sunday evening, it seemed like, and you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This year it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I can get those exact dates for you. We'll talk about it next go round at our next meeting, but I wanted to go ahead and put that on your radar anyway.
If we don't attend that, do we still have to get the
12 hours.
the credit some other way?
Yes, we'll have to do some kind of
Most time it's
continuing
webinars.
education.
It just seems like a lot of money.
And that's every 2 years. Yep. Any, I think that's it as far as meeting dates and everything, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand, and all right, we're adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you all.